It is time to see how things are setting up in the pre-markets. So we're going to get into NVIDIA, Tesla, Bitcoin. I got TMF I'm going to finish up with. And in between that, just quickly talk about SPY, QQQ, and IWM. Yesterday, I mentioned critical resistance for SPY. We need to look and see how the pre-market is reacting around that number. So let's get into the charts here. NVIDIA, on the hourly chart, we're stuck right back in this range in here between about 105 to about 108. It does look as though we're getting upward pressure on the 108. Potentially, if we can break that today, I think that we'll see 111 coming out of it. If not, we'll probably be back down to 105. We'll have to see how the market reacts. So over to Tesla. For Tesla, we're sitting on support right now, down below where we were at yesterday for the close. However, we found ourselves hitting this previous resistance, now support area. So as long as we're able to stay up on top of that, and again, you can see those bottoms coming up, the top's pretty much flat. We might see that push to 229 today. And, like I said, we'll check the market bias as it comes along with it. This support, by the way, down to 221. And if not, we got other support coming along down the way. So let's actually go out to the daily chart just for a quick moment on Tesla. There we go. And there we are. We'll zoom in a lot so that we can see a little bit more what's going on here. So actually down here at about 220 seems to be also where we start to catch a little bit of support coming on here, even though it's not official part of the support area. That 221 to 222 is about the bottom of that. So what I would look for today, 228 to 222, we'll see what we get. Tesla, we know, look at that pepper that goes almost top to bottom in this chart. We know that it can have some wild moves that go along with it, and that it can be unpredictable. If we do break up above 228, we have a price target up here at 233 that we're looking for, and I think that we should keep an eye out for it, as it's potentially good that we get up there. So keep an eye on Tesla. Over to Bitcoin. There we go. Stretch that out. Move into it. This one I'll keep on the daily chart for us. And check out that. We got 3 rejections so far off this critical resistance at 57,588. Got a lot of selling pressure. We're able to close just barely above it. Maybe I wouldn't call it solidly broken. And then yesterday, actually I should say today, as this is shaping up, well, we got a rejection so far, but we are staying up above this price target here of 55,879. The low price where we found buyers for this was 56,099. So let's move on from there into TMF, because in TMF this morning we actually are up above. If we can stay up here, we're up above the top of this consolidation pattern that you can see on your screen. I'm looking for $67 in the near future here coming off of TMF. We'll see if we can get there. And I do hold shares in TMF, and then I also have a call option position as well into October. So looking for that price increase to come in. Be nice to see it actually pop up to price target 3, but I think in a very realistic sense, I think price target 2 could be something that we could see in a reasonably short amount of time if we're going to continue on top of this thing. Now, if we pop out of this and retest and find support at this trend line, or maybe down at 62.12, but depending on how long it takes, we could see that rise back up again if that support holds, and watch that retest and then the rocket ship after that. So that's why I'm holding on to TMF right now in case we need it for market downturn, we'll say. And with that said, let's transition into what we have for SPY, which, by the way, we're about an hour or so away from the CPI report coming out. I don't know if there's going to be a massive catalyst for it unless we have something that would be deflationary or inflationary. So something wildly away from the current consensus that we have. I do think it can still be upward pressure if we get some decent numbers in there that are a little bit soft on inflation yet to show that the pressures are still easing. So I think that can still be an upward catalyst, a push up on the markets, even if it doesn't in itself move them up. But I do think it's worth watching. Let me clear these technicals because I want you to see the resistance that we got yesterday. So we passed down through the 50. This is the 50-day simple moving average. Got rejected off of it. Now we're down a little bit lower. We'll see if that continues today after the CPI report, or if it's one that is going to allow some levity to come back and break up over top of that. Breaking up over top is a bullish thing. Breaking down below that, or not being able to overtake that, I should say, is a bearish thing. That's at 549.13. And that also explains why in my technicals I actually adjusted one of the lines on here that you'll see this red line I had up at 550. I've actually backed that down to 549.15 to accommodate the more recent price action that we see. You can see it back here that it was support for us. And now you can see it acting as resistance for us going forward, because that's right about where we find that 50-day simple moving average. So getting up above that is going to be critical to retesting some of these resistance areas up here that go up to, well, they start at 551, they go all the way up to about 558. So that's a pretty long span that's in there, with no shortage of resistance to the top side above that as well. I think we'd really have to fight to see a lot of upside in the near future, but that's something that I think we could chip away at. If we were to head upward to the downside, we have a pretty large free fall area down below to watch out for. In the Qs, we're actually sitting up above the support that we have here, and technically I guess I could move that up a little bit. So we're a little bit mixed this morning as to what side of 457.65 we fall on. We do have support at about 455, so we want to watch for that one. That can be important for us for support to the upside of that. This is all the way up here at about 463. And like I said, CPI could be a little bit of a catalyst for us, so that's something that we most definitely want to continue watching. So IWM, well, we broke out at the top of this trend line, good, but then we have a lot of resistance to the top side, really important resistance. We just have to climb 209 to about 210. We got to climb over that in order to overtake that resistance. And like I said, there's a significant amount, especially at the lower side of that resistance, to break over. I think it would be hugely bullish to watch that happen. Falling to the downside of this, and we got about 206 to 207 is where we find support. It's 206.47 is the exact number that I have on here. And, well, Goldilocks scenario is what it's going to take for that upward movement. Any signals or signs of recession, it's going to be downward pressure for IWM and the Russell 2000 stocks. So, guys, if you like my commentary, you want to hear more, see my buys and sells and how I'm playing this market, you can do so using the link down in the description for the Patreon. Click, sign up, and head on over to the Discord and talk with me and my community members over there. We'd be absolutely astounded to have you. And then also, if you want to learn to do technical analysis like I do and empower your portfolio through technical analysis trading, you can also do that using the link down in the description for Stockmo Academy. Sign up, get access to the bread recipe trading strategy, which is a very clean, easy to set up, and the course actually walks you through that setup for the bread recipe, tells you all about it, also tells you a whole lot more about technicals. I have a chapter in there on options and the trading that people get from it, and the knowledge that they gain really does help them. Many people putting out testimonials that they're covering the cost of the course in a single trade. So that, I think it's something that really does provide value and service. And if you guys want access, you can get it even cheaper by using the code word Dr. DOCTOR when you sign up for that course. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.